Sadina igata clase
Kampulaki kale.
okay.
Okay, although others are not here, but according to our time, it is time already. And that's not our business to say that someone are not here. Last week, most of you were not here for your own reasons, because I heard that everybody, people were around. Where are other people? I think there were only two, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but because of vibration, I sent the slides. I'm not so sure if you went through the slides to check what was being late. And I just assume that you did. I think I'm talking to one person because you were here. Yeah. But your colleague was not here. Did you manage to download? Yes, right? Yeah. Okay. What happened last week? People have been the one telling me what happened. Why were you supposed to do it wrong?
I don't know others, but for me, the nani
Okay. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, so last week we did something else, but this week I wanted us to look at something as as in regard to text. As you said that we say communication graphics, usually we look at normal people. I mean, most people online, when they say graphics, they assume that it is pictorial graphics. It's really a bitmap. Yeah? But as we look back to the definition of graphics, we discover that text is part of graphics, right? So if we explore communicating using images, we can also explore communication using text or type, because most of the communication, graphic communications that we know, you find this text. And you have to wonder to know how the impact of text is. The text is used in different ways, right? Because you discover there's going to be a design with a lot of text. Some design will have a very few text. Some will have text, but of different typeface, which is not similar. So you discover there could be a similarity in typeface, or maybe different in a font, right? So we want us to explore, what's the difference between a typeface and a font, right? And also, why do we have to be concerned with the text as a communication tool? And also try to analyze, maybe go into detail, the anatomy of text, because we've been seeing text for a very long time, but we never thought about it that as a person. Do the same for graphic design. You look at text as if it's a person, right? Meaning, you should be able to describe the text, to say the text I'm seeing. You can look at it and say, okay, it has got this, it has got all this, it has got that, it does not have this, it means this is this, right? Because as a reader initiative, you already see a variety of text or fonts, text typefaces, and you have to ask yourself, why do we have all these different? For example, we have the normal text talking about the same thing, but now you see some other text having some other elongations, right? Some will be like slanted, some will be bold, so why do we have to have the same text? Some should be bold, some should be slanted. What is the main purpose? It's all about communication, but we can explore through that. So yes, I think I'm not going to go much on the history, but the history was traced into very early civilization. In this part of history, I think you're going to go through it in detail, but you see that the years that are interested there is 550 years ago. That's where the actual formal text or type was now placed into being, to say that this particular symbol or type that will be used for communication. Because in the past, the early communications according to evidence were that they were finding like those pictorial, let me say, pictographs, right? Whereby you find in the historic caves, there is a drawing, or let me say, the cave of maybe a cow, right? A cave of something, which was actual, pictures or figures that resembles the actual image, right? But when it comes to text, it doesn't resemble the actual image. Because you see, what we read your text, you have to understand what the text is talking about. But when the text of a house, it does not look like a house, right? But we understood that, okay, this syllable plus this is house. So you have that history tracing back the earliest civilization of mankind at the, according to text, 150 years ago is where that the actual text, like the type that we use. But in terms of using graphics, they got interested back to 25,000 BC, right? And when you say BC, as we know, it's before Christ. So that's how far we can trace to the drawings, whereby in the caves there were some other drawings of trees, caves, and the like, right? So we have all this history, and when we go through our modern time, just fast forward, it could be, it's now linked to, I think we're going to explore what is called typography, but now it's related to the invention of what is called the printing press, right? Because when we say print or the type, type has been existing because it was meant to be on a printed surface. That's the original creation. Because do you hear type or do you see type? When we say, because when it's talking about type, we're talking about this, the fonts. So do you hear it or do you see it? Can you just take time without looking at it and listen to it, and you're going to hear, listen to something? You can't. So it was not made like for the earliest civilization. It was made to be typed, to be printed on something. So the person who invented the printing press, that Johannes Gutenberg, is the one who invented the printing press. When I say printing press, it was now a machine with these characters. Now the machine had this specific, let me say, that's what it is, the movable types, whereby you have small metallic materials that contains these letters, right? So the way they put were, it was like, if you have ever seen this stamp, you've seen the stamp. It was the way it were, right? Imagine it's a stamp. Now, it's not just for a school or something, but they are texted. So each text should have its own, let me say, stamp, right? Then it has to have a machine. Now it will be like, for example, A, B, C, D, and now someone will type. When you type, it will hit the ink, then the ink will be step on like when printed on the paper. So it was something. So the idea, it was started by this Johannes Gutenberg. So that's the one who developed the printing press. And now, from there, we started to have, like in Italy, Rome, they started to borrow the idea, then modifying different types of fonts. No wonder you see some other fonts types whereby you see italics, right? Most of the fonts were related to Rome, Italy, right? So even Germany, some, right? So it started to be developed because normally when it comes to fonts, it's where we're going to explore later on to make the differences. Because in our, in typography or in graphics, font and the typeface is usually confused. Most people, they do use them as if it means one thing, but we will explore that the font is another thing, typeface is another thing, but they are related, right? Right. So something is a bigger thing, something is smaller than the other. So the history we're going to explore it later. Now we can explore what the meaning of typography, because typography now is like a growing term. So When you say typography, here it's like it has the actual origin. So it originates from Greek. The Greek words, one typos. I think you have heard the word typos before. Some they say, okay, I was typing. Oh, it's just typos. Like this, as if it was an error or something. It typed an error, right? So typos, which is form, and the graphia, which is writing, right? So if you take a form and graphia, it means it's like you have a form of graphics combination, right? But here it says in writing accordance with form, right? So there's a specific form because this text or these characters, it's just a form, right? They are lines. You can see we talked about vector and the raster images, isn't it? So we say vector, they are lines, right? It's forms of lines. It's like when you say E, it's just like a line that has been made like this to form E, right? It's nothing strange. When you say bitmap, we say it was like an image, right? And so here it's like it's going to be a writing now that is according to a certain form, according to the certain definition. Now, another definition that maybe can be broader, typography is the science of using letter forms of communication. Maybe this one is a little bit broader when we say letter forms of communication. Okay? So, okay, if you are communicating using letters, that is typography. So that's a little bit clear. So we say, okay, you are writing, you are writing something, and now in this process of, and I know it's a little bit shorter, but we can think about it more because we say we are thinking about communication. Now, when we are communicating, we think about barrier to communication, we think about the message, we think about the receiver, usually, that's what we say. It's like exactly like normal communication. You don't just communicate without thinking about who is receiving the message, isn't it? So we discover that we have different types of typeface, because this a form like a letter is a type. So this type we discover that we have different types of typefaces, and we have got different forms of what are called font families, right? So we have to differentiate that. So there is a reason for you as a communicator to decide. Because when you are taught to write something or to communicate, you don't think much about type or font, right? You just select it. I think let me put italics. Yeah. But have you ever noticed, like check magazines, check newspapers? Do you think they select those fonts by chance? Check, normally if you look at magazines, you discover there are specific type of fonts that they look like let me say magazine-ish. You can just know the way it looks like a magazine. For people who do like for musicians, themselves, there are specific fonts that when they selected them and put them on the album cover, it looks good, right? So we discover that there's a specific type that will serve the purpose of that one, whereby you just want something to look beautiful, and there's some that are meant to just communicate something. So typography here, let's say typography comprises. Thus now we have learned that typography is a science of using letter forms for communication. So what is involved in typography? You are going to find that there are going to be what are called typefaces, right? There's going to be type size. You're going to deal with the line length. You're going to deal with length, spaces, and almost everything. If you are able with whatever you do on Word or graphic software, if you are trying to change, to increase the space, to make it bold, to add color, all those are the things that are involved in typography. But the reason is, whatever you are doing what you are doing because you are trying to communicate using text, right? And there are specific type of elements that will make your text appear convincing. Can you give an example? Why do we have newspapers like, or let's say, if you know newspapers, when you see a front page of the newspaper, so you see there's one headline that is very bold, very large and bold, right? There are some other headlines that are small. When you look at the newspaper, which headline do you go and read first? The bigger one or the smaller one? If you see, usually even magazine, when there's a big title, large font, and it has some other small, do you go and read the small face or you go for the large face? The large one. Why is it? Why do you go for the large one? And if that's where you discover that whoever decided to make that is headline a large one, they did that process. I mean that action or process for a purpose, because the newspaper they will have what I call like lead stories. They will say this is our main story, right? So to emphasize the emphasis of the main story, they have to work with graphics, like work with text, right? To say, okay, I think because it's a main story, let's use they will think about font, right? They will decide this type of font or face typeface. They will decide something to do with the font. They will decide something to do with the size and all that to emphasize the message. So that's one of the examples how you can see, because some will ask that why is typography important, right? You can use it if you like to emphasize the message using text. You do that, or if you like to attract people in a certain way, you can do that, right? So you see that you talk about typefaces, also visual functions. There's an element of a visual effect that you go to, or visual purposes. You can try to use it. Also, maybe you're using it for function. There's a reason why you're doing it, or maybe artful arrangement whereby you just want to beautify the page. So because of that, you're going to look for a specific typeface that will make the page look beautiful, something like that, right? Let's now look at a font and the typeface. We try to differentiate the two, because that's as I said that these two are usually confused, right? A typeface is a collection of characters, right? And the collection of characters, letters, numbers, symbols, punctuation marks, that are designated or designed to work together like the parts of a coordinated outfit, right? So a collection of characters, right? So you can appreciate that in the typeface you're going to have characters that will be coordinated. I mean, if it's this, for example, this one, it's a typeface. Now, you don't expect if in the A, or for example, if in any other length or character has got a specific length, and you find some which is completely different. If we say, a specific typeface, we have all the characters, meaning from A, B to the end. We have similar elements, right? And they also going to be symbols. Symbols that are the same typeface, and also you have numbers, right? So letters, numbers, and symbols, punctuation marks, will also be belonging to that, right? And that's why here the shortest definition say a typeface is an alphabet with a certain design. You just think about that in the same alphabet, but it has got a specific design. Then you have another alphabet with A, B, C, D, but the design is different. That would be another specific typeface, right? So that's the typeface. So we have got so many of them. I think we want to look at them. I think you will even see itself. So a thought, in contrast, is a physical thing, and the description of a typeface, right? And in a computer codes, in computer code, photographic view, or video, right now you use to image. And let's see if you can have another one. You see, if I is clear. Yeah, but